Hi guys, welcome back to Coffee Chromosomes.
No.
And I was thinking about that too.
You have to leave that in there though, because this is a funny blooper.
Nah. Alright. Yeah, start all over.
This has to stay on there because people love to laugh with us and at us, so this is staying in the video, okay?
It's not.
It is.
Hi guys, welcome back to Coffee, Chaos, and Chromosomes. I'm Russell.
I'm Amy.
And today we are going to dive a little more into something that we spoke about during the last live that we had. I think one of the questions that kind of piqued our interest or something that we wanted to talk a little bit more about was the dynamic when it comes to relationships and marriages and the family dynamic, whether you had kids before or you didn't. Maybe you had kids after the situation that you're currently in. So for us personally, we had a little mixture of both. We had kids before our twins. And
no kids after.
I am absolutely wrong there. We had no kids after. If it was up to me, we would have had kids after for sure. But it was not up to me.
He'd have a whole freaking football field of children.
So we are actually just on one side of that. But yeah, for us it was, I think for the two of us, we probably have different views on that. My view on it is, while it is challenging to have our girls and all the things we've had to deal with over the years, it definitely is a different dynamic in the fact of how we go about our day-to-day and how we travel and how we do almost everything. But at the same time, I'm also grateful for the opportunity to be the dad of our girls and be a caregiver for our girls. So while there's, some parts of me that's like, oh, I wish we had,
more freedom.
more freedom or even just
easier of like, hey, let's just all run to the store, or let's all just run for a weekend getaway or whatever. That's not an option. We have to make sure we have nurses. Then we decide, do we take the girls? Do we give the nurses a night off? Do we take the girls and nurses? If we just take our other children, will my mom be able to be here to be another set of eyes on the kids? Like, that's a huge stressor. My mom bought me and Russell a cruise last Christmas before last. So we went last November on a cruise for the challenge, the MTV challenge, which I'm obsessed with. And I got to meet a few of my people, Cara Maria and...
Show me your tattoo.
Cara Maria.
Weirdo.
I know I'm weird, but I can't help it.
Not me.
So we met Cara Maria, Fessy, and Polly. Which was so much fun. I love Cara. She's awesome. Fessy was very sweet. But anyways, we had to make sure my mom could stay here to keep an eye on the children, just in case nurses were running late or called out. My mom would be present to be with the girls. And so that's a huge thing when we try to plan any trip, whether it's just me and Russell going to the casino for a day, which we never do, or even going to dinner. I feel like even when we plan on going to dinner, it's always, we get that message of, oh, hey, I'm running 30 minutes behind, or I had an emergency come up where I can't come. And it always, it never fails. Anytime we're not home, something happens. So it's not just a quick and easy, like, hey, let's go on a trip, or let's go on a vacation, or let's go to dinner. So that's a struggle in itself. Not to say that it's a make or break struggle by any means, but I feel like having children with special needs could possibly be a make or break situation for some families. Yeah. It will either bring you closer together or it will push you further apart.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel guilty like talking to other parents or hearing other people's stories, because I realized like they never had nurses, they never had help,
Yeah.
they never had any of the, to them may seem like luxuries, to them, to us sometimes is, while it is a luxury in ways to be able to do things with our other kids and not have the girls there with us, and not because we don't want them there with us. Sometimes it's simply because they're not feeling well, or we don't want to get them outside because, just going outside of the house at times has gotten them sick. And then we're set back 3 or 4 days of fighting just sniffles and gagging and all types of stuff, simply from going outside, and there being allergies or different things.
Which they love to do. They love to be outside.
Yeah.
And so we do have nurses that take them on walks. They do go outside with therapy. But then again, if somebody's just cut their grass or it's windy.
We had a neighbor take a tree down, and that caused
and they
a
were
whole
down
bunch of
for
stuff.
like something that, like he said, would just give us the sniffles or runny nose. They're literally down for the count for a week or two with having to have extra breathing treatments and extra puffs of their inhaler and extra medications.
Throws off bowel movements. It throws off all types of stuff.
We have to use the humidifier. We have to use the Airvo, which is something, it's like a CPAP machine where we can titrate oxygen into it. I mean, there's so many things that fall into, to us, it's so minimal, but to them, it could put them in the hospital.
Yeah.
And that sucks for sure for them.
Yeah. And also, I, personally, and we both said it at times, like we feel guilty leaving and not having the girls with us. And it's heartbreaking and sad to even think about leaving and going somewhere without your kids, and knowing that your kids are there and would love to be with you. They love being outside. They would love it. It's just, at the same time, we have to risk reward. Like, is it worth taking them out to go do whatever and have them sick for the next week? And of course, I feel like they don't think of it that way, or they don't look at the situation, of course, in the same way that we do, and they probably wouldn't care. They'd probably trade that night out for the next week of being sick, it feels like at times. But I don't know. They can't tell us. We don't know,
don't
so
talk.
we're try to make the best decision we can, and sometimes we just feel guilty for doing it. So,
and I don't have a big enough car to fit all of my children and the nurses.
Yes.
And I can't afford a bigger vehicle. So that alone, it's another setback on, do we take them? Because my nurses are already here.
Yeah. And we have one reliable vehicle, and my vehicle is just, I fix it all the time. So I don't mind it. I really don't have to worry too much about Amy taking it, or I don't ever worry about Amy doesn't take it. I'm the only one that drives it. If it breaks down, I can fix it. But again, it's just not something that is reliable to move people around in. So
his car doesn't have AC. I'm not putting my kids in his car.
And it's 100 plus degrees outside.
It's a truck. And I have a Ford Explorer. So it's 3 rows, but my kids are very tall. Their car seats are very bulky. And so a nurse, when I have 2 nurses, one has to climb in before I let the girls in, or they have to climb in through the back hatch before I put the girls in. And then one nurse sits up front. So then if both nurses go, one of us can't go, or Kinsley can't go, or we have to take 2 vehicles. And not to say that, again, that's like, oh my gosh, it's, you have to take 2 cars, but it's a lot. And then getting them out into public, they get overstimulated very easy.
We have an hilarious story of Amy taking the girls one time by herself to the grocery store, thinking, I don't know what I was
thinking.
I'll just use the wagon that we have.
We have a wonderful wagon that I paid $1,000 for before I realized that they offered veteran discounts and they offered discounts for children with disabilities. And I did not realize that till after I paid $1,000. This was years ago when I got a tax return. We don't get tax returns anymore. We owe taxes. But I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing on the planet. I'm going to love it. I'm going to use it all the time. First of all, it is heavier than I'll get out. Second of all, the girls grew out of the straps so fast. And so to put that in the vehicle, and then 2 children that are dead weight because they don't hold on to you very well. And then to try to grocery shop by myself, I was profusely sweating. By the time I got to the store, and then I had to shop, and then I was like, okay, well, I can't push this wagon and a cart. So then I was putting the groceries in the wagon, and the kids were stomping on the groceries and sliding down and screaming. And I was like, what was I thinking? I wasn't thinking at all. Granted, the girls had the time of their life. Like, they were out of the house, they had so much fun. But yet again, it's first of all, you get the looks, because a lot of people are ignorant and don't understand that not all children are the same. But then I do believe they even started to get the sniffles and stuff after that outing. So it was just an exhausting trip. And that's the thing. As they get older and their health issues are less and less, it's easier to get them in the car. But when they were little, I mean, it was 45 minutes to load the car, and I would be profusely sweating by the time I got them in the car. But I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say it's put a damper on our marriage, because it hasn't, but it has made, like, we don't go out on dates. We don't really do anything for ourselves. It's all for the kids. And I mean, I've struggled a lot with just having, losing Dylan and then having children with special needs. It's mentally a lot on you, to where it's like, what would it be like if they did talk? What would it be like if they could walk? What would it be like if they could play with their other siblings? It's always the what if game, and I play that game a lot, and I hate it. I do believe that if I had these children with anyone else but Russell, I'd be a single mom raising these kids by myself.
Yeah.
Because Russell is not the norm. He is an amazing, amazing dad, an amazing husband. And like when we have night nurses call out, I can't stay up at night. 9:30, I'm in bed, and he does it without any kickback. And then he gets up and goes to work the next day, and he does what he needs to for his kids. And like I said before, he is the calm to my storm, so he does make it a lot easier for me to deal with my stressors, because I have really bad anxiety. A lot of, even just with the girls, like I just get very flustered really easy. And then our other children are always like, you spend more time with them, you don't spend enough time with me. They get all these cool things, I don't get cool things, which is a total lie, because all of our kids are spoiled in their own way.
100% spoiled.
But I do feel like having children that take a lot more time and effort could completely ruin a family if it's not approached in the right manner.
Yeah. And it's definitely, they say like kids in general, it takes a village sometimes to raise kids. And for kids in our situation, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or how many ever you have, it takes a village. And I honestly feel like it takes the right type of person or the right type of people to deal with what you have to deal with. And yeah, we are 2 different people, and we do balance each other out. And I know not every situation is like that. But I also know and have talked to many parents where I'm like, man, you're making me look bad, or I feel like you're making me look bad, or I'm not doing enough, or, but we all have our challenges. We all have our own battles, and I'm just doing the best with what I can. I learned a long time ago in the Marine Corps to control what I can control and try my best not to stress about what I can't. And it's really served me well in the fact of just going with the flow of what we have going on, and understanding that it's not always comfortable. It's not always easy. And at times I look at it as a challenge of, I was chosen to do this. And whether I take that approach or not, I'm still their dad, and they rely on me and I just want to do the best I can in that regard. And I've taken that approach since they've been born, and even before they were born with my other kids. And yeah, it's not always easy. It's not, and I'm not immune to stress by any means. And she knows.
He bottles it up.
She knows more than anybody that that's what I do. I internalize it and keep rolling with it and do what I got to do. And then there's times where it bubbles up, and there's times where I have, my own little meltdown or my own feelings of woe is me or this or that. But at the end of the day, I'm human, and we all are, and we all have those moments. So definitely, if you're having those moments, don't feel like you're alone. We all go through it, whether we appear as the strongest people in the world or whatever it appears to somebody else. It's Facebook. It's social media. It's something that you look at and you see the pretty side of everything, and nobody shows the ugly side of their life or their process. And so, at the end of the day, we're just trying to be open about that and let you know that you're not alone. You're not going through those hard times alone. You're not going through those hard times that nobody else has been through. We've been through it as well, and other people go through more hard times, it feels like at times. And the same people may look at our situation and go, "Oh man, your situation is worse," or I can't believe you went through that," or "How'd you do that?" And at the end of the day, we all have our own challenges, and we all have to figure out a way to navigate those challenges, and that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
That's the way it feels. And I've heard a saying before where someone was saying, essentially, if we all threw our worries, our issues into a pile and saw everyone else's issues, the majority of us would run back and grab ours, because whether it be more difficult than another issue, it's our issues. Like, we know how to handle this. I don't know how to handle what you're handling. That's your thing. Why would I? And it just puts it into perspective. And a lot of times for me, and the way that I process things is like, if I put things into perspective, then I start to realize it's not as bad as it seems. If I think about somebody may have it worse, or somebody may have a scenario going on that I have no thought process that even goes, I can't even fathom what to do in that situation, because it's not mine. I've never done that. But other people may look at our situation and think the exact same thing, and that's understandable. But at the same time, I try to keep in perspective that we're not being punished. We're not, there's nothing wrong. We're just, we're in a situation, and our girls are alive, and our girls are healthy for the most part, and I'm going to take that as a blessing and roll with it. That's all I can do.
Yeah. And it is a struggle, because my mom's always like, "Oh, you guys need to do things for you and go out and, whatever the case may be." And when we were on that cruise, I was miserable. Not to say I was miserable, but
we both rushed back to the room.
We would go out and do the fun things with the challenge co-stars, and then we'd go back to the room, and I'd want to FaceTime the kids or call my mom, or like, the girls were all I thought about. And then years ago, when the girls were younger, me and my mom went on a cruise, and Russell stayed home. It wasn't even like no parents present. Russell was there. I think I cried like the first 2 or 3 days of the trip, because it just, like, I was out of my comfort zone. I wanted to be back home with my kids. And my mom was like...
And that was the last minute. That wasn't something that was planned. It was kind of like, hey, somebody bailed. They weren't going to go with her mom, and the ticket was already paid for, and somebody needed to go, and her mom said, "Can Amy go?" And I'm like, "Sure, of course. Like, I'll handle it. Like, let her go." Like, at the end of the day, like, we both love to go do something like that, but if only one of us can do it, it's better her going than me, because it would not have been the same situation of her being there by herself. I think would have given her more anxiety than me being by myself. So I was like, yeah, let her get away, let her have that time and enjoy it, and I'll deal with whatever comes up while I'm here. And so I took the kids to school and had to come home and work and have the girls there. And so yeah, made it work, and she got to go away, but she did not have the time that I
I
was
did
hoping
not
she would
have
have.
fun.
I was hoping she would have a great time and enjoy her time away and know that I had it under control, but she did not.
Yeah.
She was stressed the whole time. She was worried the whole time. She wanted to be home, and her mom's like, "What is happening? Like, why is it? Why did we decide to do this?" And I'm like,
Well, it's so funny too because when you're home and you're in the moment of all of the chaos and the day to day, you're like, gosh, I just need a vacation. And then you go on vacation without the kids, and then you're just like, gosh, I just want to be home. Like, there is no happy medium. Like,
yeah.
so I tell him all the time, like, I want to start taking more vacations with all of my kids. And we have taken the girls on a cruise, but we took nurses, and I would like to try to take all my kids on a trip without nurses, you know, to give the nurses a break and to give us just a family vacation. But then my wheels start spinning of like, I'm already getting anxious and we haven't even planned anything yet because I know it's going to be a lot. But I feel like our kids deserve that. But on the other hand, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, now I know I need to take Kinsley on just a vacation with just her, because when we do take all the kids, we know 90% of our focus will be on the twins because they can't fend for themselves. They can't eat by themselves. They can't walk by themselves. They can't change their diapers, you know? So then is it a vacation or is it not a vacation for everybody? So that's a huge struggle on deciding all of that. But I do want to start doing more. I mean, when I get home, the second I get home, I go straight into the room to see the twins. Whether I'm in there for 5 minutes or 45 minutes, that's the first thing I do when I get home. And so then usually I'm like, Russell, did you go see the girls today? Because Russell just gets in his mind. He focuses so much on work that half the time he doesn't pee, he doesn't eat. I'm like, snap out of it. Go see the kids. But 90% of the time, they don't even know we're in there. They're just glad they got an iPad and they're watching cartoons, but just to see their smiles on their face. Cambry for sure lights up when Russell walks in.
Yeah. And for me, it's hard. It's hard to turn off dad mode. It's hard to turn off work mode and dad mode. I'm in the house. I work in the house. So, and my mindset is I have to provide. Like, I have to figure out a way to make more money so we can get a bigger vehicle. I have to figure out how to make more money so that as the girls grow up, we can have a bigger house, or we can have land, or we can have whatever. I know none of that stuff comes from me doing less. I know none of that stuff comes from me making less. So, and everything around us is getting more expensive. So I'm trying to figure out ways to prepare for the future while I have the help, because I know in my heart of hearts, like, that's not a forever thing, and I don't want it to be a forever thing. And I need to prepare myself for the financially for the time that it's not a thing, that we don't have nurses, we don't have help. The girls are further along, and we have to handle more of the stuff day to day that we're not handling at the moment. So I'm trying to do the best I can to pull myself away at times mentally to focus on where I feel like I have the ability to focus at the moment and make the most of that, because that moment's going to come and go, and I may not be where I need to be in the position where I want us to be in. And that's my stress. That's my stress more than anything. And then I feel guilty at the same time. I feel guilty because I'm not just running from work to go hang out with my kids and do all these things. And so it's a double-edged sword.
We're just going to sell feet pics.
Yes. Watch for
or
it.
farts in a jar. You know, something.
Watch for it. I'm going to go with option one. Yeah.
You never know.
You hear so many things of people making money for the
Dumb
craziest
stuff.
things. And again, this could just be social media. People could be completely lying, or it could be 1 in a trillion that's happening, and all you hear about is the 1 in a trillion. And you think, oh, well, how are they just making $100,000 a month just sitting at home and dancing in front of a camera? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make logical sense to the way that I was raised. I don't know. So I'd love to figure it out though. So
Yeah.
if you know something, please let me know.
Yeah.
You know,
Drop it in
keep
the
a
comments.
secret. We'll keep it a secret. We'll be the only ones with you that are
Yeah, right.
making $100,000 a month, hanging out. Yeah. So I can't bank on it. So I'm trying to figure out ways to financially put us in the place where I feel like I'd like us to be. And yeah, so
what do you think, babe? Do you think if you had these children with someone different, it would be different? It would look different in your eyes am I making sense? Like,
the answer to her question is I don't think about it.
I mean, I don't think about it either.
It's not my thing to think about another woman and
that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
She's setting me up. She's trying to set me up, and I'm not falling for it. It's not gonna happen.
Honestly, like,
I honestly don't think about it.
I don't think about it either. But like, this does make or break a lot of people. Like, even just healthy children can make or break a relationship. I mean, I watched a documentary on this guy whose wife did like the genetic testing, and come to find out that they were told the child was going to have Down syndrome, and the mom was not for it at all whatsoever. She just wanted to give the baby up, all of this craziness. So she had the baby and then she left. And he raised that baby by himself. He is the cutest kid on the planet. So I don't know how anyone could just walk away from their children. But I feel like having children with special needs, it just makes you see things in a different light. Look at things differently. Look at life differently. Don't take so much for granted. And I used, not to say I did that a lot, but I just was always one of those, that's never going to happen to me. I'm never going to have a kid that's in the hospital all the time, or I'm never going to need home health nurses in my home. That's, and we've lost a child and we have children that need 24-hour care, not as much as they did before for the same reasons. They have 24-hour care for different reasons now, but I never, if you would have asked me these questions, 20 years ago, I would have been like, that would never happen to me.
Yeah. And I will say to what she's talking about or pushing at, I feel like at me of what what I do. I will say that I am really good at certain things. Working and providing. I think personally, like I thrive in those environments. I throw myself into work. I'll work longer than anybody. I'll work harder than anybody because I'm looking at the future, and that's a goal of mine, and that's something that I pride myself in. And so I do put a lot of time and effort into that, and I do excel everywhere I've been work-wise. And so with saying that, I am not always the best husband. I'm not always the best partner. I don't always put my efforts into being romantic in any way. Like it's like the last thing on my mind. And for a lot of women, that's important. And don't get me wrong, it's important to Amy as well. She's not, she's.
But I'm not bougie. Like I don't need flashy diamonds, flashy cars. I'm not into purses. Like I just want you to pay attention to me. Like sit and watch a movie with me, or you go grab yourself coffee. Be like, you know what? I know my wife will want a coffee. Like it's little things like that. Yeah. Put your dishes in the dishwasher. Like it's little things, honestly. Like I am not snobby about keeping up with the Joneses. I'm not about that lifestyle. I don't need all of that. But just the little things. Take me out to dinner. Mm-hmm. I've asked him for how many years to dance with me in the kitchen. He's never yet danced with me in the kitchen to a country song. Never. Yeah. It's just little things like that just make me.
I was going to say that she has been really, and she has, don't get me wrong, she has been really patient with me in that regard, and I am truly grateful for that. And as she was saying, there's not many women that put up with that for too long and don't, let it overwhelm them or take over them, and the fact of feeling like I don't care, or I don't want to be here, or I'm not happy in this marriage, or all this stuff. And it's none of it is true for most guys, and guys that are like myself, and women that may be in Amy's situation, and with guys that are like myself. I will openly admit that I am sometimes a one-track mind, and a lot of guys are like me. A lot of guys are driven in certain directions, and if I run in a direction, I am all for that direction. I will do everything I can to run through every wall in that direction. You tell me to sidetrack, stop focusing on that, and do something else, it's hard. It's hard for me to turn it off. It's hard for me to turn it off sometimes, even just be dad, to just be go in there and hang out with my girls and spend time with my girls at times, because I'm so one track minded and off in the future of like, I need to prepare, I need to stress, I need to think about everything that's coming and prepare for that, and what's going to happen, and how am I going to do this, and how am I going to do that. Nobody else is thinking about this, only me. And then I feel like I'm carrying that burden plus other burdens. And yeah.
But you're missing out in the moment.
And that happens. And that's something that we've had discussions about. And I'm sure we're not the only ones that have had that discussion. And this is, kind of why we wanted to do this episode, to, let you know, like, again, we're definitely not perfect. Perfect. I have a purpose. I'm just not perfect. Yeah.
No, because I am not easy to live with. Let's be honest. I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of anxiety. I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve. So if I'm angry, mad, sad, frustrated, you know it. And I'm very vocal about it. I don't hide anything. So that can't be.
I bottle it up until I can't bottle it up anymore. And then sometimes when I start to say it, it comes off as rude, comes off as
douche.
I'm being not productive conversation about it. It feels like almost like I would be attacking you or something, in the sense of just, I'm smart enough to say it in ways that I feel like are stories or dumb ways of saying it just to get around like my point. But at the end of the day, like, I'm human as well, and I have my own things that I, think about or worry about or stress about, and I'm not good at talking about it all the time. And I don't think I'm the only guy that's in that scenario. I think there's many of us out there, and I try to do more, I try to do better, and I don't always succeed. So
he's not romantic, but he's an amazing dad, amazing husband. I'd be lost without him. He's an amazing brother and son, and he will drop anything that he's doing to go help other people. Like my dad had a flat on the freeway. He stopped work, went to help him. And that's just who he is. He would do anything for anyone before himself, except have Amazon packages come every day. Amazon comes every day for Russell.
Good at it.
But other than that.
And it's stupid stuff. It's not productive.
I got lucky.
Yeah. I try.
He's my best friend.
You're my best friend. But,
so I'm glad our situation did not break us. I'm glad it made us stronger. We did, have some hurdles and some struggles, but I think it just made us stronger as a couple and individuals, and made us who we are today. And although my kids have health issues, I would never change the way everything played out. Agreed. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Agreed. And I honestly feel like, I don't know, like I said, and there's ways I feel like I was built or molded to be where I am today. I went through a lot of things at young ages and a lot of hurdles that I felt like I had to overcome early on, and it taught me a lot of early lessons. And I had great role models growing up in the sense of, it's funny, I hear people, just heard her talk about how I go to help people. I grew up with a dad that was the same exact way. We didn't have a ton. We weren't throwing money at anybody, but my dad would go out of his way when we were kids to go help a friend. We'd be at dinner, he'd be ready to go to bed. He'd been at work all day, and he'd put clothes on and run over to a friend's house to help with an electrical issue that he was having. Because that same friend, was also a plumber. That same friend was in another trade. And if we ever needed a situation or we had situations come up, that same friend would be underneath our house fixing a pipe with us or doing whatever he could to help us, because it was just how the men were when I grew up. And while you didn't have a ton to give financially, you gave with what you did have. And a lot of it was trades. A lot of it was, just being able to help in any way you could. And it taught me a lot early on of something that I knew early on that I wanted to be able to mimic, only in the sense of it felt good. It felt good to help other people. It felt good to get helped by other people at times when we needed it. And if I could carry that on and continue that on as an adult, I was in my head like I would love to do that. And now I have the ability to do it. And every chance I get, it's almost like, it's sad, but sometimes it's like going to the casino for me, or being able to go do something. Like I got to go help a friend, my best friend that I grew up with. I don't rarely get to see him. He's 5 minutes down the road. And this weekend on Saturday, I went over and helped him change the alternator in his truck. To some people, that sounds ridiculous. That sounds like, why is that fun? But to him, he's not a mechanic. He doesn't do this stuff. He doesn't do it as much as I've done it on my truck and other vehicles. So it was grateful. It was great. He was grateful that I was there to be able to return to what he thought was going to be a long day of work into, 5-minute job.
And they also have a special needs child too.
Yes. And so,
which we could have them on as a guest too, to kind of.
Mm-hmm. And again, I got to see Gianna, and I got to spend time with my friend, and I got to help him out in the process. And to me, that's a blessing. To me, makes me happy. I got to help her brother with his alternator in his truck. I helped our son-in-law with his starter in his truck. And this is...
So, if anyone needs help with their starter, Russell's your guy.
I'm just kidding. So, I just enjoy being able to help people. And at the end of the day, it's one of those things where I feel like, we all have our own struggles. We all have, things going on. And I feel like if everybody was in that mindset of helping each other, and we would all be in a better place. I think everybody would feel a little less anxiety knowing that, hey, I could call a friend and they could come help us. Mm-hmm. I laugh because I think about when I say that, like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you get to a question and you could phone a friend. It's like, oh, I know the perfect guy for this question. Let me go just call him and ask him. It's cool to be that guy. It's cool to be, or have someone to call to answer that question. My best friend's a chiropractor. If I have back issues or I have issues, I can go see my best friend right down the road, and he can adjust my back, or at least look at an x-ray for me and let me know what somebody else isn't telling me. So it's always nice to have it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm blessed. I'm glad things happened the way they did. I'm glad it didn't break us. Made us stronger. We're She-Ra and He-Man. And, in all honesty, like, I do get very anxiety-ridden when things happen in my household where it's just like a nurse called it out, and to me, I'm just like so frazzled. And then I'm like, okay, Amy, our nurses have lives outside of our house. They have children. They have families. They have things that they need to take care of. It's not just about me, and I'm selfish sometimes in that manner, just because I do get so anxiety ridden when it all falls on me, which I shouldn't, because they are my children. But I just started work, and so then it kind of puts things into perspective, like, well, if they call out and I don't have anyone else to work, then I have to call out. And then that puts a strain on our financial situation if I'm not working.
Yeah.
And so it's just a lot, but things could be so much worse. And I'm just so glad it's not. Like, Kennedy is on this new feed, and through the Facebook page that I follow, a mom reached out to me saying that she had a bunch of extra feed that we could have because her son had passed away. And it just broke me into a million pieces. Like, I couldn't even fathom losing another child. And the fact that she was okay with just giving me all of this feed for my daughter so my daughter could eat, it just was a true blessing. And so I went and bought her flowers. And, you know, I don't even know this woman, but I just felt compelled to just buy her flowers and just give her my condolences for losing her child. And I was able to get the feed to help feed my daughter, because we still don't have her food approved through insurance yet. And then we went back and forth for a little while in message, and it was just nice to know that, you know, there are other people out there that go through similar things that as you do, and are not as fortunate to still have their child here with them, but that they were still willing to help us when we needed it.
Yeah, and that's always been one of my biggest fears. I don't get emotional about it, about Dylan and the situation that we went through, because at the end of the day, like, I still have so much to do. I still have so much to take care of, and I feel like if I'm falling apart, then I can't take care of what I need to take care of. So again, I bottle things up. But those things do come up. Those feelings are still there. And hearing this story about the lady that gave us the food, I mean, crushed my heart, because that's like the biggest fear for me. It's like, I don't want to go through that again. I don't even know how I made it through the first time. I don't even think I've ever even processed the first time.
That's probably,
So
we probably didn't fully process
the
that whole
fact
situation.
that I could go through that again scares me to death. This is terrifying to me. And I'm going to do anything and everything in my power not to let that happen. And I'm fully aware that whatever I do, it's still out of my control. I have no guarantee of waking up tomorrow. I definitely don't have a guarantee of any of my kids or anybody around me waking up tomorrow. It's just trying to process that and understand and acknowledge that I'm not in control of that. I have no control of that. And all I can do is the best I can with what I have and the opportunity that I have, and hope for the best and do the best I can while I have the opportunity, and pray that that never happens to me, that I outlive my kids. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think any parent, any good parent, I feel like, has that same fear, has that same feeling of, I want to outlive my kids. I don't want to bury my kids. I don't want to be in that situation. But many parents do, and it's extremely sad. And I have always tried to keep in mind that the people that have helped us along the way with the nurses, that they do have lives outside of this house, and they do have things going on. And we have one of our favorite nurses, who I will not say her name just because she's a private person, but she has gone through a ton of things outside of helping us. And it still, as much as I do for our kids and as much as I do for other people, she still feels like Superwoman to me. And when I heard early on that her grandson was going through what he was going through with kidney failure, I instantly started kind of slowly asking questions about her grandson, just of course of interest, but also letting her talk about it, but then also trying to gather information because I had a little plan in my head of if I have the ability to help her, I'm going to help her. Whether it's the best decision with everything that I got going on or not, it seems like the right thing to do. And if I could do this and ease her pain and ease her grandson's pain, I was going to do it. And so I found out that his blood type was the same blood type as mine. And instantly I felt just chills because in my head, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to go through the process and see if I can donate my kidney to him. If I can make her life better, she's made my life better. She's made my life easier. If I can help her in any way, I'm going to try to do that. And so I did. Without telling Amy, without telling anybody, I started looking into it myself, found out that I could go and get tested. And I went through the whole screening process, found out that I was a match, found out that I could donate. And then I let Amy know. Amy was not thrilled about that decision.
Not for the reasoning, just the fact that it's a worse recovery for the one that is donating versus the one that is receiving.
Yeah.
Not to say that I would not let him do it. It was just a shock that he wanted to do it, and then we found out that you weren't 100% a match.
Yeah.
But it was, he's the cutest kid on the planet.
Yeah.
And the nurse that he's talking about is hands down Wonder Woman. She is for sure Wonder Woman, and I love her so much.
Yeah. So it ended up being a situation where I was a viable match. I was not the closest match that they were looking for, of course, but at the same time, it was an option that they had on the table, and they then had to make a decision on, do we wait for a deceased donor of the age range and closer match, or do we go with what I'm offering and be able to help them? And it just worked out in the fact that they had a deceased donor kind of pop up around the same time, and he ended up going with that option just because it was a more viable option, because the biggest fear for everybody involved was rejection. And he's still, no matter how close a match it is, it can still happen, but the further away you are from that match, that it's more chance that they can reject. And then essentially I gave my kidney, his body didn't take it or rejected it, and it was all for nothing in a sense. So I told them I'm up for whatever they decide to do, and they ended up going with the closer match, and he's doing better. He's doing great. He's definitely changed his whole outlook, and I think everybody's outlook involved there has changed. There's definitely been hurdles, and there still is hurdles that he goes through, and he still has to go through the rejection, and he still has to take medication and do things, but it's a lot less than what she was dealing with prior. And that's all I was going for. I just wanted to help her go through less. And if I can do that by giving her grandson a kidney, I was open to doing it and happy to do it, and felt blessed that I could do it.
Yeah, she was shocked that he was willing to do it.
Yeah. So,
but we love her. She's been one of our longest nurses since one of our other nurses retired. She's been with us the longest.
Yeah. She was our first night nurse. And the other nurse that left was our first day nurse. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride.
I'm glad we're still doing the ride together.
Woo, we're still here. We're still making it. We're still on the ride.
He's still the calm and I'm still the crazy. All right, well, I think we've talked y'all's ear off long enough tonight. I do think we're going to try really, 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 really hard for our next episode to have a guest. What type of guest, I do not know yet, but I think the goal is to have a guest for the next visit. We're going to try to get all of our our I's dotted and our T's crossed, ducks in a row, squirrels in a line, whatever the sayings are.
Hurting the cats.
Yeah, we're both a hot mess. We're both hot messes for different reasons. But I thought of this idea for the podcast, and then I was just like, okay, let's go. Like, didn't plan anything out. I mean, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I finally was just like, you know what? I really want to do a podcast. And Russ was like, let's do it. And then so we kind of just jumped in the deep end without a float. So we're just trying to take it episode by episode. Hopefully you guys are enjoying our episodes. So yeah.
Yeah, please share. I mean, there may be other people out there and other groups that we're not aware of that would be interested and would love to be involved. And so please share and please help us get the message out there. Again, we're after nothing but giving people a platform to talk about everything that they're going through.
Please comment.
Yeah.
Please put any comments you'd like in the comment sections under the videos. We do review them. We'll respond. You ask questions. We'll be more than happy to answer them during any of our episodes. We just want to be able to, be one with the community. Whether you know somebody that has special needs, or you're a relative of somebody with special needs, or you're the one with special needs. We just want everyone to be on the same page. And I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of delirious right now. So without further ado, I'm going to mess up the ending of our podcast because I do it every time. I need to write it down and put it behind the camera so I can just read it. So until next time, I think there'll be more coffee, lots of chaos, and a few less chromosomes. Bye.